Howdy folks, welcome back to the Imandra map with SnowRunner. This is not a regular episode, this is just a little review of the MTVR Mark 27. I did the 23, Mark 23 and Mark 31. I realized I was missing the Mark 27, and I said I'd come back and talk about this one a little bit. About the only way it's different from the 23, I'll run through this as I'm talking here. You have the same standard engine and all that as the other two, which I've already covered. Say about the only way it's different is that it still has the studded snow tires. I can say that if I do it slowly. In the add-ons, it has a 3-spot bed instead of a 2-spot. That's what makes it stand out from the other two, or the Mark 23 rather. So there you go. The Mark 23 has a 2-slot. The Mark 27 has a 3-slot. So basically you can get, if you want to try and use a 3-slot, buy the Mark 27 or download the Mark 27. If you want to use the 2-slot, get the Mark 23. Exactly the same visuals. And still no interior customization. So there it is. The Mark 27 versus the Mark 23. I'm not really comparing it to the Mark 31 because that one is strictly a semi-tractor. That's the Mark 31. And that's the Mark 27 with its 2-spot bed. This one actually has, the Mark 23 actually has more add-ons. In the fact that it gives you the 2-slot cargo, the standard maintainer with 1,300 repair parts, 5 spare wheels, and 1,400 liters of fuel. It gives you a Mark 23 flatbed or Mark 23 6-con tanks, which is 2,100 liters of fuel. Where the Mark we just saw in the Mark 27 The only add-on available is the 3-slot flatbed. We could take this out and let's see. There's nothing nearby to load. To load something like lumber. I wanted to demonstrate something. But there's nothing nearby on the Imandra map to put any load in this vehicle. I can get around my other vehicles here. I guess timber shipment isn't that far away. I didn't want this to run long because I have a couple other vehicles I'd like to talk about. But you know what, I could just easily do those two in a separate video. Well, I was turning hard right and it just continued to follow the snowbank regardless of my steering input. Let's see, it just headed for the rock and the snow, headed for the rock and the telephone pole all by itself. I have no idea why it's over there smacking into that rock when I specifically turned it away. Now it's over there hitting that one. I don't think it's anything with the mod as much as game mechanics. Maybe a little bit of a difficulty between the mod and the game mechanics. But at any rate, seems to be handling the deep snow just fine. with those studded tires. Handles the dip in the ice well. Though it, well, I was gonna try to weave between that stuff and go around the big rock. I think I'll try and squeeze through right here and see what it does. This is a pretty good sized rock. So I did have to winch across that one. When I found out about the Mark 27, well, there's that scout flatbed I gotta haul somewhere for a job. Anyways, when I found out about the Mark 27 and saw the 3-slot flatbed or a 3-slot box side, okay, it's in front of me still. Thinking I should be there already. What I saw was that when it got sideways enough to break the cargo loose, he couldn't repack that 3rd slot. I need one more. Okay. Now 3 slots of cargo. As it, like I was saying, what I saw when the cargo, when it leaned to the side enough to break the cargo straps, the sideboards kept it in, but this rear unit of lumber shifted enough that it was sticking beyond the tailgate. Excuse me. It was sticking beyond the tailgate. And as long as it was sticking beyond the tailgate, he couldn't repack any of the load. When he kept driving and that unit eventually fell off, then he could stop and repack the other 2. So not sure if we'll be able to duplicate that, but wanted to get a load on it and then maybe tip it back and forth and see what happens. See if we can See if it's possible to break that third one loose. Purposely put it through some frame twisters or something. There's nothing up here. That's gonna make it lean enough to break the cargo straps. I don't think. Maybe here? I don't want it to... Not quite. I don't want it to tip over so much that it goes on its side. I just want it to break the cargo straps. I do have to come up here and get that scout flatbed at one of these points for another job. I'm purposely making it rock back and forth, or trying to, in the hopes it'll... Oh, that one looked like an almost. I'm purposely trying to make the cargo straps break loose. Whoa! I didn't want to roll it. I didn't want to roll it because now I can't demonstrate. The thing I was talking about. Oh well. I demonstrated one thing. It takes a lot to make the thing tip over. I was hoping to just crack the cargo straps loose but save the truck. And demonstrate the inability to repack that third unit. But I suppose that was kind of a long shot. Get it to tip just enough to break the cargo straps, but not so much that it rolls over. You'll just have to take my word for it, I guess. If that third unit breaks loose, or if the lumber breaks loose and that third unit, or the lumber or whatever it is, if that third unit breaks loose and gets beyond the back end of the tailgate, you can't repack it. But once you completely lose that third unit as it bounces off going down the road, then you can repack the other two. Or if you had a crane, if you brought out a crane and you reset that third unit so that it was all the way in where it's supposed to be, then I suppose you could pack that third unit again. But there you have it, the Mark 27. You see, it doesn't tip over very easy. I had to purposely run it up the side of that big rock to get it to tip far enough to break the cargo loose. But by then it wasn't savable. Now in gameplay, you would never purposely try to tip the thing over. You can see that it handles snow real well, handles snow and mud very well, handles ice very well, and the only place I had to winch it was over that great big boulder that made us lean into the other boulder, which puts a lot of friction on it. And we had to winch it through that one part. Other than that, you know, again, I love the 3 MTVRs. I personally would probably go with the 23, the Mark 23. Just because I don't, except for certain circumstances, where's a 3-spot gonna come in handy? And that's the only thing this truck does, the Mark 27. It's the only thing the Mark 27 does. There's nothing saying you can't put 1 unit of cargo or 2 units of cargo in it. But you can do that with the Mark 23 also. You could have a couple Mark 23s. You could have 4 Mark 23s. One setup with each different add-on. Then have a Mark 27 sitting there in the wings. If you have 2 units going to one delivery and 1 unit going to another, there you have the possibility of doing 2 different deliveries. And then the Mark 31 gives you a high saddle for the opportunity to haul freight with a trailer. So there you go. Love the MTVR Mark 23, Mark 27, and Mark 31. I just see more usefulness out of the 23 or the 31. But you make up your own mind. And see you next time.